I think Invincible is one of those shows that stands up there with being a timeless classic. I feel it holds the same presence that shows like Breaking Bad had. There's something about Invincible that really uses its story to the fullest potential. I think down to its core, it is what a superhero is really about. Mark in the show and the comics gets pushed to his limits both in his mental and a physical ability. Every villain that Mark faces is literally a test. And I think it's clear, bar a couple of characters in my opinion, Mark could easily kill all of the people that he faces. But I think it's his sense of humanity and the right thing to do that he doesn't, unless he's given no other choice. I never get the sense that Mark is weaker than the people that he fights, and don't get me wrong, he does get his ass handed to him, in multiple different ways at multiple different times, but I never get the sense that he's weak. I really think it's because Mark holds back all the time, and he doesn't really want to kill anyone even when he really should, and I think that's what makes Invincible a true superhero down to his core. To give a couple examples on this, I think the battle between him and Armstrong is like a clear example of that. Mark didn't want to kill Armstrong unless he really had no other choice. Armstrong is literally kind of just some guy that can open up portals. There's nothing really inherently strong about the character outside of his will to want to kill Invincible and make his life a living hell. Armstrong's biggest strength is that he's just smart. If we're talking about pure power and strength, Invincible outweighs him by like tons. And I think it's pretty clear even in the first fight that Invincible has with Armstrong that he had no other choice but to kill him. Armstrong kind of forced him into a spot where if he didn't do anything about it, Mark would have lost his younger brother and his mother. And I think that point drives forward even more, even in the next fight that he has with Armstrong. Hell, while we're on the topic, the Invincible War is a clear determinator on how strong Mark can really be, purely based on the fact that not all of those Marks that had destroyed countless cities were even as strong as the Mark that we know. I feel like Mark has come a long way. He might not have been as strong as his father when he fought him, but I still feel at the same time he could have held his own if he wasn't holding back. And I think my point stands. When he has Armstrong in his hands and he's ready to do something about it, he actually hesitates to kill him until his brother intervenes. Mark literally says it himself in this moment. Armstrong left him no other choice but to kill Armstrong because of the countless lives and people that were lost purely by the hatred that he has towards Invincible. And unfortunately, I feel like this is also a reason why Powerplex is kind of right in his hatred towards Invincible. If it really wasn't for Invincible holding back all the time, he probably could have stopped a lot of people getting killed. But don't get me wrong, I admire the fact that Invincible doesn't kill the villains that he really should. I think that's why Invincible is Invincible and what makes him a pure superhero down to his core. It's kind of funny because the one time that he does decide to just let all out, it is against someone that is inherently way stronger than he is. So even then, it kind of feels like Invincible is not that strong. Conquest is simply just a really tough foe, dude. Purely based on the fact that he is a Viltrumite that quite honestly is probably at the peak of his strength. Invincible was still kind of able to hold his own against him, even for as long as he did. Without Invincible and honestly Adam Eve, the world would have been decimated in seconds. This guy was very strong, and the fact that Mark was even able to like stand a chance against him is literally insane. And I think it comes full circle. The reason Mark was able to stand a chance against him is because of his humanity. It's that wanting to protect the people that he loves and the world around him that drives him forward to fight this Viltrumite. Obviously, there's other reasons for it. Mark was in a terrible spot at the time, felt within himself that he indirectly caused the deaths of millions, and to some degree that is kind of true. If it wasn't for the fact that if he just killed Armstrong, that maybe things would have gone a lot better for the planet. But that guilt that Mark feels is the reason he is such a good person. That guilt literally makes him human. Viltrumites always say this. They eradicate that loving human side that Mark holds so dearly, purely based on the fact that it makes him weaker. But in my opinion, I think it makes him stronger. That moment where Adam Eve gets like brutally hurt by Conquest is a moment where Invincible pushes himself to stand up and fight again. It's literally even apparent in the first fight with Armstrong. His love for his family is what drives him to keep fighting, even at the cost of his morals. The fight that he has with his father and the reason that he stands up against him is literally his love for Earth and the people that he grew up with. Invincible literally fights better because of the people that he cares about. It's the reason that he pushes himself so far, even if he ends up with broken limbs and a beat up face at the end of the fight. It's the sole reason that he even fights to begin with. And that's pretty much why I think Invincible is stronger than he appears to be. That's pretty much all I have off the top of my dome here today. Like and subscribe. Let me know if you want to hear more content about Invincible or even other content you would like to hear from this channel. So anyway, goodbye.